Hello, I'm back with another video. The last video was about chain stitching for a quilt, and today we're going to learn how to press your fabrics after you've chain stitched them all together. Okay, so what I have here is I have my iron. It's right here. It's set at the hottest setting for cotton fabrics, and then I have my quilt top where I am right now, and you see it's all chain stitched together. And I've already actually chain stitched a whole set, and then I pressed that one out already. So this is actually my second group of stitching and pressing. Okay, and after this I think I have about maybe 3 or 4 more turns before I have a completed quilt top. So today, let's talk first about the reasons that we want to press our fabrics. We want our top to lay nice and flat. Also, when we're stitching our top together, we want to make sure that our seam allowances don't butt up against each other. So we want them to be one side facing one way, one side facing the other way. And so if you look here, I'm going to press all my seam allowances to the jersey fabric since I am making a jersey quilt. So here's the jersey fabric in the middle, my sashing. My son picked some money fabric, so that is the 100% cotton. And so you see the seam allowance here is pressed down towards the jersey fabric. Okay, and so I'm also doing that with the big jerseys. I'm pressing towards that jersey fabric because these won't touch each other when they're lined up. Okay, once they're all sewn together. Okay, so I also have a pressing cloth here, and it's just a piece of cotton fabric that I use with another quilt, and it's actually in some spots in this quilt as well. And I have my pin cushion because some of my pieces are still pinned together. Even though they're stitched, they still have pins in them, and so I want to remove them, and I wanted to make sure I have my cushion here just in case. So what I'm going to do, I have the iron is already set, and I have all the fabrics turned towards the whichever one I'm going to be pressing toward. So first we'll set the seam with the iron, and then we'll open out the fabric and press down that seam allowance to make it nice and flat. Okay, so first I'm going to take my cloth out, just wring it out one time, good time. Okay, if I was making just a quilt with cotton, I wouldn't worry with this because the cotton can take the heat. I don't know if my jersey fabric can really take that cotton heat, that 100% hot heat. So I'm just using the pressing cloth to help, so I can still press the seam, but I want to make sure that it's as hot as it can be and not burn my fabric. Alright, so first I'm just setting this seam. I'm just going to hold the iron down on that spot for maybe 5 or 6 seconds. And then I like to make sure that the fabric is nice and dry. That's my cue to move on. And then I'm going down, so I've pressed both of my sashings. And now I'm working on the jersey. And up. And so I still have a little bit of the jersey left to press, and so I just move the my pressing cloth to a wet spot. Actually, I'm going to move it down because I have 2 jerseys down here. So, and one cool thing about chain piecing is that you can chain everything, you can press everything at the same time too. So just like you sewed everything at the same time, you can give it all a nice press as well, and not have to worry about the time that it takes to move the iron, move the fabric off, put another fabric on, press, move it like that. Okay? So there's one more spot to set that seam, and there was a pin, so I moved it out of the way because I learned the hard way that you can burn your pins, and I don't want to do that. Okay. So after the seam is set, I'm going to open out the fabric and show you that, and then we'll give it another press to get the to press that seam allowance. Okay. So now from this point, I will open it out, and I can see now there are actually 2 sets of fabric. There are 2 jerseys on each one of these, and then 2 little sashing sections on each one. Okay, so I You might want to just do little finger presses where you take your finger and go along that seam allowance, press it down nice and flat as you can get it with your fingers. And then opening out the sashing rows. Okay. So the next part is, again, taking out my pressing cloth because of these fabrics. And I think that my next quilt will just be 100% cotton because this jersey fabric is really tough on me to work with, but it's fun. And it's for the kids. Okay. So, and even this is kind of a rectangle, and I just put it on the diagonal so that it just covers a little bit more area. And I'm just gently tugging to make sure those seam allowances are nice and flat. And then it's the same process. So press, hold it down, and then pick it up, and then go down a little bit to the next area of fabric. And again, with this pressing cloth, I'm not concerned with burning my fabric because I know this cotton can take the heat. And then up, one more right here, and then we'll move the fabric a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to move the pressing cloth down to cover that last jersey. And the last one for this round. Okay. Alright, so that is done. And so now what I'll do is I'm going to take my fabric scissors and cut in between those pieces. Okay, and these are actually in order of how I want them on the quilt. So the sashing will go on top of the jerseys. So I want to just show you quickly. This one will go with this one. So this, these will go, they'll sit on top of it, kind of like that. You see that? And so here are the seam allowances. Okay, so when they go together, they'll go right sides together for sewing. And then you can see that they're going towards the jersey, and so they won't be right on top of each other. So you'll get to one before you get to the other, and that makes it easier to sew. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share with you. Now next time we'll be able to talk about putting the entire quilt top together and getting ready to pin it to the binding. So, or not the binding, the filling, what's that called? I don't remember. To really get it ready for quilting. Alright, that's all I want to share. Have a great day. Remember to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.